This is the Metal Queens podcast. I'm Steve Richards. On this episode of the MQP, we are diving deep with a voice that doesn't just sing, it commands. Shawnii Secrest is the powerhouse behind Utah's own metal force, Eyes of Eva, sharing stages with the likes of Burning Witches and Royal Bliss, Adelitas Way. But she's also the creative heart of Rapid Desire, a genre bending pop rock metal project built from the ground up. We'll talk about that. Her music is fierce, emotional, and unapologetically authentic, a reflection of personal battles, raw resilience, and love for music that refuses to be boxed in. I'm happy to have, and this is her first podcast, by the way, Shawnii Secrest. Join me from
It
Utah
is.
here on the Metal Queens podcast. Welcome.
Hi, Steve. Thanks for having me. I'm super excited to
Uh,
be here.
Great, great to have you here, Shawnee. So, tell us how music first found you. Was it always metal, or did your sound evolve?
So, music, just honestly, ever since before I could walk, always being Disney music is where it all started, to be honest with you. Like, I would always sing to any show that we would put on, and my grandma was like a huge inspiration and like pushing me to like do music. And my mom put me in a singing competition in the sixth grade called the South Jordan Idol. And like I actually, there's like 150 people that tried out, and I got like fourth being in sixth grade. So for me, I thought that was pretty cool. And then I continued to just do singing competitions here and there, but my very first band I ever was into was Good Charlotte, and they kind of the Chronicles of Life and Death album specifically. And I just absolutely loved ever since I heard them, it just jumped right into metal music, and it's ever I can't even remember how old I was. Like I think I was middle school, maybe a little younger, but I've always, yeah, metal has just been my favorite. And a lot of my family has all been big on country, and I've always loved metal music.
Mm. Yeah, Utah isn't the first place most people think of when they hear metal scene. What is the scene like there, and how has it shaped you?
So there actually is there's a bigger rock scene than I thought when I first started doing music here. When I actually found my band is when I found that there is such a huge rock scene out here, but it definitely is more of like a country vibe in Utah, I would say. But there's a big underground Salt Lake music scene here, and there's a lot of talented musicians and people that do reside specifically in Salt Lake City. And I've also been shocked by just the number of bands and like people that I've met through being able to do music and do live shows here.
Yeah, Eyes of
So
Eva, as I mentioned in the introduction, has shared this stages with some big names, Burning Witches, I mentioned Adelitas Way, Royal Bliss. What have those experiences taught you as a performer?
so Royal Bliss was the first one. It was like an outdoor It was our first outdoor venue that we ever did. And I was so nervous for this show because it was just such a big show for us. And it was for the Ride the Brainwave. It was like a charity event. That in itself, like, just put me out of my comfort zone and made me have to like own a bigger stage because we've played smaller stages. So moving into playing for the event venue was called Leatherheads Bar and Grill, but that's where Burning Witches played last October, and that in itself was just having a bigger crowd and just such a awesome audience to like feed off of. It just you get more into being able to perform live and be able to just own the stage when you have a big crowd and an amazing an amazing headliner that you're following. So for me, I really like watched for instance like Lizzie Hale from Hailstorm. Like I watch a lot of what she does, and I just watch a lot of other artists that inspire me and kind of see what they do and form my own thing because I had the biggest stage fright growing up. So now I get on stage and it's just a huge adrenaline rush. So We just played with Adelitas Way recently, and that show was just so awesome. And I feel like I'm really owning my craft now that every time I go on stage, it's just a learning and growing experience for me. And I feel like it's just easy now compared to what it was when I first started.
Less stage fright. You still get a little, right?
Little bit, definitely. I mean, I'm a cheese ball. If you see me cheesing on stage, it happens. But my band will joke with me all the time. And they're like, okay, be more serious. Don't cheese ball it. I'm like, well, that's just me. I'm going to cheese ball it. That's just, I do it even during some of the serious things, but it's just my personality. I'm just a sweetheart. So,
Shawnii, let's talk about these guys behind me here, this band. What
yes.
is the dynamic like in the band, and how do you collaborate creatively?
So, the really cool part about our band is the whole entire writing experience is a collaborative effort. For instance, the one on your left, the bassist is Dustin, our drummer is Damon, and then the one in the suit is Brandon.
Hmm.
So Brandon and Dustin actually were in a band for I think like 10 or 11 years before Damon and I came about. And they, their band was called Berlin Breaks, and they actually toured with their band, but then it came down to them wanting to do have a different they had a different idea, and Eyes of Eva was their baby and they created it. They wanted more of a theatrical performance and just whole vibe. We have like all these big plans of what we want a live show to be when we have like a bigger venue and like we have big plans and big ideas, but they found Damon I think a year before me, so they met up with him at this bar called Mariana's Trench, and then they invited him. And I actually knew Damon from mutual friends, and he asked me to come and audition. And at first, I was like, I don't know, like if they're serious. So I didn't right away go and audition, and then eventually I did. And they were like, "We've auditioned so many people. Would you come back and audition again?" And they really liked me, and I was like, you guys are actually really cool. And just ever since we're just a family. I feel like we all can joke around. They're like my brothers, and I love it. But as far as like the collaborative effort, I cannot write, I cannot use instruments at all. Like I am all about doing the melodies and harmonies and lyrics. So they will bust out the instrumental, and a lot of the time I'll be there for that. And I'll be singing to myself and having my own harmony ideas. But a lot of like my personal writing for like lyrics and stuff, I have to kind of step away and do that alone. And then I come back and then we all put it together. So there is also collaborative effort in the writing as well. Dustin and Brandon and Damon in different songs, we all write different parts with lyrics and stuff like that. But yeah, so all of it is a team effort for sure.
And Shawnee's in this picture. There she is, right there.
That's
So,
me.
all right, let's talk about your other project now, Rapid Desire.
Okay.
It feels personal. What pushed you to launch a separate project from Eyes of Ava?
So that actually was my beginning project. So back in 2020, I think 2019, towards the end of 2019, right before COVID hit, I have a big group of friends that have all been like that are super musical. Specifically, my buddy Tyler from a band called Saint Raven. He just was always making his own music videos and putting out his own music, and finding this friend group and being around all these musical influences kind of pushed me to be like, hey, you know what? I have a good voice. I just need to do something with it because it's something I've wanted to do my whole life is be in a band, but I never really pushed myself. So I went to the same producer and studio at Bamboo Audio. And Blue is absolutely amazing. The producer who comes out of there, he's just phenomenal. But I finally went, I made a demo. I went to the studio and we came out with my first song. It was called In Between. No, that was my second song. Wow. Bittersweet was my first song. And sorry, how do I forget my own first song? Just kidding. But no, for me, it just was kind of, I was going when I started that project, I was kind of going through a lot of self-discovery. That's actually right when I had moved to California and I was only there for 3 months. And I moved in with my best friend, and I was planning on staying there, but it was a lot more difficult, and I didn't realize how much I missed Utah and like my friends and everybody I had here. So I moved back, and that's when I just dived right in because I joined a band also in California. So I got my feet wet a little bit, and then I was like, "Okay, I'm ready to create this project. I'm ready to finally like take my dream in my hands and just make something happen." So I have 3 music videos. I have 3 songs with the Rapid Desire project. And what you'll notice is all 3 songs are a little bit different, but it was me trying to kind of figure out what sound I was going for and it, like kind of just where we were going to go with it. The third song I did, me and Tyler wrote, and it's like really, really heavy. It's called Forfeit the Game. You'll have to check it out. It's pretty, I love that one specifically. And we did like the coolest like gambling music video. And there's a lot of hidden meanings also behind like the music videos. Like they're just really deep and they're just super personal to me. And so far, like I haven't done anything with Rapid Desire for quite some time, but I'm going to start that back up. I've just been focusing a lot on Eyes of Eva and I will continue to do so, but I have a lot of really cool ideas that are different from Eyes of Eva that I would like to put into the Rapid Desire project.
Now, with Rapid Desire, you're blending pop rock and metal. Was that intentional from the start, or did that happen organically?
It happened organically. I originally really wanted to do more metal, like just heavy, like have it be like really, really heavy. I'm trying to think of like a good example, like Spirit Box. I love the sound of Spirit Box, but I can't scream. I'm trying to learn how to scream, but I don't want to damage my vocal cords. So, because there's the correct method to do it, and I've
Yeah.
tried, but it just comes out really funny. So,
Yeah.
I'll stick to what I'm good at. But
I've had a lot of
there's some,
symphonic metal artists on here, and they,
yeah,
had a lot of operatic training specifically with their voices
yeah.
too. Yeah.
And that's what's crazy with me. I've never had any vocal training whatsoever. So everything has just been, I mean, I had choir, but in high school and stuff like that, but everything I've just learned on my own and just been doing. So it just happened the way that it did.
Yeah. Shawnee, your music hits hard emotionally. How do your personal battles fuel your writing?
So most of my lyrics come from how I'm feeling or the way that I do it is I give myself a concept or I figure out what I want the song to be about. Like I listen to the instrumental of something and it goes based off of how I'm feeling or how the song makes me feel. And I dive really deep into that. And sometimes I have to think of like stories in my brain or like what the song could be about. But it all comes down to more than like I have always loved writing as well. So I try really hard to create a story when I'm writing, but at the same time, like put in words that people, I don't know, for me, lyrics are super important. And I try really hard to make the lyrics just as meaningful as the instrumental. So for me, it just all comes down to like being real and trying. I try really hard to, I want to inspire people through what I'm writing. And if it means something to me, I think it might mean something to somebody else. And that's my biggest thing with music is that for me, it has always been a healing thing and it's been there for me during the really tough times and it's a way to escape or it's a way to like bring yourself up and be happy and just live in the moment. Like I want to do that with my music for other people, but I also just want people to be able to turn my music on and just like be like, this is a really good song, like I feel this.
Mm. I read that you said music is the fuel that drives you. What happens and what do you do when you're not making music?
I honestly, I'm kind of sad when I'm not making music. I work a nine, well, I work like a 7 to 5, sometimes a 7 to 3 as a office manager slash hardware manager for a custom closet company. So I have a day job because I have bills and stuff, but I'm always at work. I'm listening to music and with different ideas of what the next album could be or the next song, because I'm also super into filming and just like the visuals, like music videos and stuff, and that's something I hope we can bring more of into our Eyes of Ava, even because I have so many cool ideas.
What's next for Rapid Desire and Eyes of Ava?
Rapid Desire, I have been working on a possible new song. And then with Eyes of Ava, we do have a new song coming out. There's no official date of the new song. We're just waiting on the mixing and mastering. But I am going to guess it's going to be around Halloween when that comes out, and it's called Bite Back. It's kind of a revenge song with a twist. Um, I really like it. It's a super fun one. And then as far as Eyes of Ava goes, we are actually starting to work on a new album. So hopefully next year sometime we'll have a new album out, and it is going to have a huge focus on diving more into the character of Ava and like mental health. So it's going to be really cool.
Yeah, so a lot of new music coming from both projects and
Yeah.
probably some touring next year too in support of a new album with Eyes of
Yes.
Ava. By the way, where did the name come from, Eyes of Ava? And also Rapid Desire.
So, Eyes of Ava. Have you ever heard of Ava Green, actress Ava Green?
Yeah.
I think she's so the guys just thought they saw her in some French flick that she was in. I can't tell you the name of it, but they're like, "Oh, she's hot. Let's name it Eyes of Ava after her." So that's the funny part. And for me, like coming into the band, they already had the name. So how when I say like a character, for me, at first I was like, well, maybe Ava could be like my stage persona. She could be like not my everyday person. She's my nightlife singer, rocker, right? And then it came down to like our first song, Ava, that we officially wrote. They had the instrumental, and I sat on this song for forever and couldn't come up with something for it. And then I was like, well, I'm going to dive more into that, Ava being like my alter ego type thing. And I did like a Jekyll and Hyde vibe where Ava wakes up one day and she doesn't know what happened to her. And because she kind of goes like, it's almost like she mentally blacks out and things happen. So that's where I was going with that song. Like she's battling with the light and the dark. And Rapid Desire, I just really like the word desire. And as funny as it is, I was on Google forever. I'm like, what sounds good with desire? What sounds good? And I saw the word rapid and then I put it together and I was like, maybe that's kind of goofy, but then it just stuck and I've loved it ever since. And that's what it came to be. So,
All right, Shawnee, we're going to wrap up here with the what I call the lightning round. Some fun
okay.
questions for you. What
Awesome.
was the last song you had on repeat? Couldn't stop playing it.
Have Massey, she spells it Mvssie, is the artist. And obsessed with the lyrics.
What's the name of the song?
Have you heard of her? Wonderland.
Wonder. No, I'm not
Massey is
familiar
the
with it.
artist, so she's not a band. So I found her on TikTok, and she's a rock singer, and you should check her out. She's actually really good. It's Mvssie is how she spells it on Spotify. But yeah, the song's called Wonderland, and it's the lyrics are off with my head dead in Wonderland, and I just love it. I blast it and can't stop listening to
Yeah,
it.
I'll check that out, definitely. Dr
Definitely do.
Dream band lineup for you. You and four others, dead or alive, who would they
Ooh.
be?
I would say Lizzie Hale,
Mm,
Amy Lee, Courtney LaPlante, uh, Ozzy Osbourne.
yeah. Oh yeah, gotta love Ozzy.
I
R.I.P. Ozzy.
know
Yeah,
that, right? Off the top of my head, that's who I came up with.
that's a great lineup. What was the first concert you ever attended?
So, I, with my parents, it was very fun, believe it or not. I was super young. The first concert I ever went to that I like actually wanted to go to, as embarrassing as it is, kind of, it was Hillary Duff.
Mm.
I looked up to her so much, but I was really, really young. I was in elementary school, and I just thought she was so cool because she was into that rocker thing. And she had fire on the stage, and it was cool.
And the one album that changed your life, what was it?
That's a really hard one. The very first album right now that's coming into my head is I think it's called the Papa Roach's Getting Away with Murder. Like that just was an influential album in my life. Like I know all the songs, I know all everything. So I'm gonna go with that because that's what came to my head in the moment.
Yeah, great one, Papa Roach. She is Shawnii Secrest, the
I love
band
Papa Roach.
Eyes of Eva, eyesofeva.com. And on Instagram, it's Eyes of Ava Music. And check out the other project that Shawnii has too, Rapid Desire. And you can check out all the videos and stream them wherever you stream your music as well. A lot of new music to come from Eyes of Ava next year. We'll be looking forward to that and also a possible tour as well. Shawnii, thanks so much for joining me on the Metal Queens podcast.
Thanks for having me.
And thank you for watching. My name is Steve Richards. Like it, share it, subscribe to it. This is the Metal Queens podcast.